What are your thoughts on what Walt Piecyk had to say on CNBC?
Yeah, Scott, I'm in alignment with Ives on this one. I think that, yes, there is some validity to the conversation. We should at least be talking about it, right? Maybe it is time after a decade to talk about who's going to be next up. But I think that realistically, with a CFO departing last year, a COO now stepping down this year, you can't just dismantle the executive ranks of an organization this large and not have any meaningful drop-off. And I think realistically, for me as a shareholder, letting go of Tim Cook here would be tantamount. Would be really good reason for me to be selling the stock. And I think a lot of others would be in the same camp because it's just too much disruption all at once for a company that we've already acknowledged is significantly behind where the wave seems to be going and really needs to be doing something to catch up.
So what is that something? If Walter says that they need disruptive change, more of it, what is that? Is that an acquisition, the likes of which they haven't been comfortable doing in the past? That's disruptive. That is being disruptive to what you're normally used to doing.
I don't even think it's singular acquisition. I think it's several. I think that the reason I say that, I know Perplexity is the one that everyone's floating right now, makes perfect sense to replace Siri and be able to come into that Apple ecosystem and immediately make the search conversation a lot more clear. But I think that realistically, not only does Apple need to be acquiring its way into having an AI solution to ChatGPT and Anthropic and everyone else, it also has to acqui-hire designers who are capable of figuring out what's the next wave going to look like. Because as we've heard from several smart brains in Silicon Valley already, the next generation of AI tools is not going to be a device that's in our pocket. It's not going to be a handheld or anything that sits on our desk. It'll be some other kind of wearable. And so figuring out how to bring in the talent capable of driving that conversation is really going to be important for Apple as well. And so I don't think that just one acquisition is going to make it. But at a time when their best mind in AI is already being stolen away, it's really time to put that capital to work and not be trying to financially engineer their way into growth with a $100 billion buyback and thinking that that's going to be the thing that keeps people willing to pay 30 times next year's earnings.
How long are you willing to wait?
Yeah, so I don't really know the answer to that question as clearly as you asked it, simply because I believe that Apple will have some sort of a solution that gets at that declining revenue from iPhone sales. I know that right now the only thing that's positive about this company is they've got double-digit growth in the services side of the business, and that might even be going away if the $20 billion that comes from Google suddenly disappears. But I really believe that a company this large, a $3 trillion tech company that's been a leader for this long, has to have some sort of answer. And so it's really tough for me to imagine a world other than getting rid of the CEO, because there's just not too many people walking around Cupertino, California, who are capable of stepping in and taking over the helm of a company this large. I just don't see a reason for me to be selling the shares right now, especially as I mentioned to you in past conversation. I think we've reached peak pessimism, and I'm not really seeing any downgrades of all these analysts who have these negative things to say about Apple outwardly. The price target, the consensus price target, last I checked, was somewhere around 230. So there really isn't a lot of motion happening. There's not a lot of people putting their money where their mouth is, so to speak. It's just us bemoaning out loud that we really wish this company would get it together.